T with Mountain Readiness. Today we are hanging out with the infamous, notorious, one and only David Grasty here in the hills. What is this actually considered?
Western North Carolina, White Oak.
White Oak. And I can tell you these roads are no joke, for sure. These roads, they're vertical. These are vertical roads. So here we are hanging out, nice and warm by the fire. David, tell us about what you're going to be doing with us there at our event. First, you're going to be doing a wild edibles, which is highly sought after. You've been doing this for how many years?
8, 9, 10 years.
8, 9, 10 years. So plenty of time to know what you're supposed to eat and what you're not.
Well, I have about 170 plus wild edibles committed to memory. I went to Haywood Community College for forestry, which is one of the best, if not the best, forestry school in the nation. We've beaten Clemson at forestry competitions. We've beaten Purdue at forestry competitions. So what I'm going to tell the students before they get there, this is not to teach you wild edibles, because it takes a long time to commit them to memory. This is just to open their eyes about how much there is out there.
Right.
So I might teach them 40, 50 that day, but I'm going to teach them how to identify. There's going to be like scientific terms that, because you have audible learners, you have visual learners, and you have hands-on learners. So we kind of run the whole gamut. We're just going to open your eyes to how much there really is out there, and then I teach them, try to learn about 1 or 2 a month and commit them to memory. Don't try to remember the 50 that I'm going to teach you.
Right.
It took me 10 years to get all them locked in. I don't use reference material, but I do throw some scientific stuff out there to help people remember them. Things like monocot species, where both sexes are on the same plant. Dicot, where you have a female plant and a male plant. And that helps in a survival situation, because if you find a female, or if you find a male, there has to be a female somewhere nearby. And the female is going to have the fruit. Male plants do not produce fruit.
Wow, in depth, important stuff. Right. Awesome. Have you ever ate anything that you shouldn't? You're like, whoa, I messed up. Was there ever one of those times?
No, I'm actually O positive, so like all the proteins in my blood prevent me from getting sick. I've eaten raw snake.
I'll pass on that.
There is some, but when we do our survival psychology and diet, yes, there is a risk. There's a risk with anything.
Yeah.
Drinking snake blood, right? It's a risk, but we focus on 72-hour survival. All right, so am I going to drink a cup of my piss? Yes, if it's going to get me out of there alive.
Most definitely.
If something bad happens, and we do, I cover all that, like why it's okay to drink 1 or 2 cups of your piss.
Right.
We go over that. Most of it's water. The rest is excess nutrients, and that much is toxins.
Right.
The rest of it's stuff that your body can use.
Compared to a Pepsi, probably not that bad.
No, it's, mine tastes like ramen noodles.
I know. And then that's going to go with the 72 hours. You know, that's your time frame. You're also going to be going into land navigation and advanced land navigation as well. So that would be another class. And then back there, you're gonna still talk about compass, but you're going to focus more on sun, moon, stars. Correct?
Yes, and our land nav my land nav focuses on not getting lost again. So if you get lost, here's, like I was going to explain to Amber, so like we walk in circles, right?
Right.
So once you've settled that this is due north, right, you don't just want to beeline it, because you're going to do that circle whether you're left-handed, right-handed. So what you do when you're going through a wooded area, tree to the left, tree to the right, tree to the left, tree to the right. Even though you're not going in a straight line, you're going in a relatively straight line.
Right.
So you make it a point to keep a tree to your left, right,
back and forth.
And that
To keep, in essence, to keep straight.
Yeah.
by going back and forth.
And that's one of the tips that we give out in our land nav class.
So, and your class is a lot of it is gonna intertwine, right? So we're gonna have the wild edibles, we're gonna have the land nav, we're gonna have the psychology diet.
The survival psychology diet will greatly play into the wild edibles because we try to convince people to get over there. They have boundaries, psychological barriers. So there are things in the wild edibles like, are you sure you can eat this? If I teach it, I've eaten it.
Right.
I'm still here. There's nothing I really ate that I shouldn't have eaten. I mean, probably the weirdest thing I've eaten is a leaf bug, and actually it wasn't that bad. It was better than night crawlers.
Right. I know I ate some pine bark once. That didn't set well.
Yeah, we do the cambium layer, like right now. The most abundant food that you have right now is pines.
Right.
Because we teach how trees and shrubs, they fruit in the fall. And that plays into fire collection as well. There's a branch hanging off a tree, there's no buds on it, that branch is dead. So instead of bending over, picking up stuff,
Through your
back,
mouth.
you see that branch right there? There's no buds on it. You got all the dry firewood you got, you don't have to bend over.
Pile it up. And as the years progress, that whole bending over thing, it gets harder and harder anyway. So save your back, right? So, also combat first aid. You're going to do some stuff on that while you're there, correct?
Yes, I did a week-long instructor's course. I'm certified through the Air Force to teach. This is not Red Cross stuff. Okay, there's a lot of things in combat that you're not really allowed. So combat first aid is first aid outside the box.
Worst case scenario.
Yes. And they learned, the military implemented it after Vietnam because you have 50 guys and one medic. Right? That one medic can't treat all 50 guys. So you have your medic, but you teach everybody basic stop the bleeding first aid.
Right.
It's not how to band-aid. Stop the guy from bleeding to death, restore his airway. In combat, you have to improvise. You're not going to have a paramedic. There's no ambulance. So we teach you how to improvise, like something as simple as rolling coat up and putting it behind your neck, and it just opens your airway. That's improvised.
Right.
Keeps your airway open. Correct pressure, elevation, arterial pressure points, tourniquet, and then quick clot. We teach you the priorities of bleeding. We go into the science behind it. 7 liters of blood, you got about 2 minutes. If you have arterial bleeding, we cover the different types of bleeding, how to use a tourniquet, how to use an Izzy, how to apply an Asherman chest seal, improvised.
Right.
Have one, get a Ziploc bag, sucking chest wound. Here we go into all that.
Well, this is going to be, really, this is going to be start to finish kind of, don't get lost. If you do get lost, here's what you do. If you get hurt, we're covering from start to finish here then, basically. Worst case scenario, don't get lost, but if you do, step by step, here's what could happen, here's how you can prevent it, here's how you can treat it if it happens.
That's how to affect self-rescue.
That's it. Self-rescue. Self-reliance, self-rescue. We're looking forward to it, David.
One of the things we do with our Campfire Clash, I don't do primitive fire.
Right.
All right. I bring 2-3 lighters, bring an extra ferro rod, bring a glass, magnifying glass. If you have to resort to primitive fire, then you fail already.
Right.
I don't teach it. It's manpower intensive. It's going to wear you out. It's going to frustrate you.
Right.
It's going to throw you further down the rabbit hole. So, while I do briefly cover artificial tinders, dryer lamp, Vaseline, cotton balls, blah blah blah, there are no Vaseline and cotton balls growing on the trees out here.
There's not.
So we teach you how to source natural tinders, things that you are going to find in Mother Nature.
Right.
Shaggy bracket, birch bark, how to get shavings, punk wood.
Punk wood. That's a big one. Especially
Wood.
around here. Plenty of punk wood around here.
I don't need any artificial tinders. I can go in there, I can source my own tinders from what actually grows in Mother Nature.
No, it's going to be a fulfilling class, I believe, from start to finish. And we are really looking forward to it. But thank you for inviting us out to the cabin here. It's great. Can't beat the wood heat. Folks, it's going to be a great show. Make sure that you check it out and check out David Grasty online. This guy does some phenomenal stuff. He's the real deal. So look for him May 5th, 6th, and 7th, Mountain Readiness. Until then, thank you, sir. It is a pleasure.
I love to teach.
We love to learn. We'll see you there.